Okay, part two. Should be Wednesday's class. Hopefully we got everything done on Monday. That was pretty straightforward. Today we're going to take a look at the finishing up this field hockey drawing by adding the goal area, the radiuses, the 3-foot lines coming in 10 yards and 5 yards. And again, you should have maybe printed this out, or I've given you a copy of it by now. We'll minimize this, go right into MicroStation. And I've lost MicroStation. Where are you? That's Architects. There you are up on the top. I'm going to try something different when I record this for the audio system. It's I don't know, that lag was set up for seconds. I'm going to try it for frames and see if that helps out. So we'll go ahead and bring up, let's rename this while I'm at it. I just double clicked on it slowly. I'm going to call it Project 4. Give it a few seconds to come up. One of the things we're going to be doing today is starting to work with some arcs right from the Smart Line tool. So we want to go back to our primary model. We're going to zoom in to the top area where we can see our goals, and we can see that on our drawing that from the inside goal post we have a 16-yard radius that we need to swing on this from this point right on the inside. So let's do that first. We're going to make sure we're in the primary level. Again, I'll work in white, and we're going to go to our Smart Line tool, Q1. And what I want to do is, I'll probably do this a couple times for you, so I'm going to find the inside of this bar, which indicates the goal line. Middle mouse button, O, go down, :3, hit O again, and we're going to come out a distance of 48 feet. So just type in 48 and hit a left mouse button. Now the tilde key, the key just above your tab key on the left side, you're going to hit that, tab. We're going to go back to this 48 point. You see how it indexes to 48 anyway? Left click. Now if I swing out, you can see we're swinging an arc. So just swing it right through, or you can stop it at the 90-degree point and just stop right there. And then right click. I'm going to do that on the other side, and then I'll go back and do it. I just want to do it so you can see the whole thing. So let me do a zoom window so we can see all of the arc. I'll try to do it here from a distance. So middle mouse button right there, hit O, because I want to be on this inside, :3, O, and then come down here, 48 feet. Now I hit a left mouse button. That starts my first line. Left, hit the tilde key, and see what happens. It goes from XY to polar mode, or distance angle. Actually just the compass does. Come back here to where it indexes to 48, left click, and we'll just swing the arc back in the other direction. After I hit the point, it went to distance. So let me zoom in. I'm going to go through that one more time. Inside bar, we're going to do a double offset here, so I can just middle mouse button, O, come in here, :3, O again, go down 48, left click, hit the tilde key, come back to the original point, left click, see how it goes to distance angle, and you're just going to swing that arc 90 degrees in that direction, and then left click. And we knew that yardage is from the inside point. So what we're going to do is use our parallel tool now, which is 9, 3, 3.9, move parallel. Make sure it says keep original, and just left click on this line, bring it to the left, :3, and then right click. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. Left click, it indexes to that 3-inch distance. Left click, and now we're going to just break this line with your 7.2, partial delete, and 7.5, trim it back out. Do the same thing on the other side. One of the reasons I had to do this because the guy that was laying out the field apparently got a little mixed up with the layout and didn't have this distance, these two straight lines, so he just did an arc from the circle that the coach wasn't happy with. So now what we're going to do is just connect these with two straight lines that actually match up to the goal area. So that's our first arc for the goalie area. Now we're going to come into the and put in the yard markers here. First one from the left side is 5 yards over, so that'd be 15 feet. So we're going to start right from the same spot again. Middle mouse button, O, come down, :3, and hit O again. And you're going to move over a distance of 15. Left click. You see it's off my screen, so I just hold down my shift key and my left mouse button and pan over there. Now this line, according to the drawing, should be 3 feet long, should be 3 inches wide, and then there's another one. If we select this entire piece, we just need to copy this 15 feet again. So it's 5 yards, 10 yards. We can actually select both of these now and mirror those to the other side on a vertical axis with make copy, and you just need to find this center point right here. When you find that center point, that's the axis that it's mirroring it on. So not only is it mirroring the objects, but it's mirroring that distance that you need to go. Left click, and we're just going to zoom in here now and delete out these line pieces. I'll do all 4 of those first, and then we'll go back and trim them out. You can do each one individually, but I like to do things in kind of batches. So now we go to 7.5 and just trim these back. So this is going to look very, hopefully, professional when we get it done. I go back over here again. I'm just holding down my shift key and my dynamic pan, my left mouse button to pan across the screen, and then just trimming these out. If we do a kind of zoom out on this now, and I know we already put the what we can do is take our selection tool and select and try to stop like halfway in between the lines, and then we know we don't need to take that one, so we're not grabbing the goal, and we don't need that one. I'm just holding down the control key and left clicking on the pieces I don't want. So what we want to do now is take that selection, I just did a fit view, and mirror that again 3.5, this time on a horizontal axis, and make copy. We just need to find this center point right here. Find that, and then we can zoom in on this area. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do a 7.2, partial delete. Just make some gaps in these lines so we can trim this out. Another gap here, and we're going to go trim that with our 7.5 tool. Looks like I forgot one right there. Sorry about that. But I know you're way ahead of me on that anyway, so just trim these out. Hold down Shift key, left mouse button, drag it back the other way. We'll start trimming these. I notice I had my smart line with the ends connected, but that'll actually be okay for this instance here. There we go, we got them trimmed out. I think we got a couple more lines here. We've actually got a 3-foot line that comes in 5 feet from the corners, and is a 3-foot wide line. So we're going to start up in this upper left hand corner, and we'll just go to our smart line. This time I'll take off the join elements. Middle mouse button for a tentative point, hit O. We're going to come down 15 feet, left click, we're going to come in 3, down :3, and back 3. If we take this piece now, that's going to be the same on all 4 corners. So we're going to do another mirror. This one's horizontal, so we'll come down here to this center point right there. Now from a distance, you can see this is still selected down here. I'm just going to grab this one, grab the mirror tool again. This time we change it to a vertical axis and just find this center point up here. So it puts all 4 of our marks on the field. Now we can just go in, same as before, 7-2, partial delete, just to make a gap in the line, and do a 7-5 to trim those out. I'll do a fit view, come over onto this one, do a window. Again, 7-2, partial delete, 7-5, trim 2 elements to their intersection. Fit view, and zoom window on this side. 7-2, I know it's monotonous, but the end result, I've been working on a house on weekends, so I'm doing some painting for a lady that I know I got involved in, not romantically, just a friend of the family that talked me into helping her refurbish her house with my son, and painting is one of the issues, and man, I hate painting. Anywho, we've got a 12-inch mark that's, well, actually we've got to put another dashed line in here on the drawing that is 5 yards out. And again, this is going to be one of those lines that we're going to do a repeat copy on to create it, just like we did on the 25-yard lines. And this line is going to be 5 yards in. So we're just going to come in here, middle mouse button, O, come over 15 feet, left click. We're going to go down 1 foot. Whoops, 1 foot, :3, 1 foot back. Take that and use your 3-1, copy it ahead 2 feet. I'm really trying to find as many shortcuts as we can here. Now, that's 300 feet long divided by 2 feet is going to be 150. So if I take this segment right here, just this one, copy, make 150 copies of that from this point to this point. Slick as all get out, and it should, yeah, I wasn't too far off. Missed it by that much. So anyway, we'll come back in here, take those out, and then go back up to the top, doing a quick pan here. Oh, got a ways to go. I think I'm not running it. Alright, now we're going to take and just partial delete this and trim it out. If we do a fit view now, we can take and select this entire line, except for these, to make sure we select just the stuff we want. Holding down the control key, I can deselect. Oh, crud. Okay. Try it again. Try to be a little more precise this time so I don't get so much garbage. So control key, don't want that, don't want that. Remember to go from left to right. And we don't want that, and we don't want that. So now, if we do a mirror copy, and I like to use the mirror because that finds the halfway point and mirrors it to the other side. So we're still on a vertical axis. We just find this center point right here, left click, and then we can go in and trim this side out. 7.2 partial delete, and 7.5 trim it out. Let's go down to where these intersect, and we should be able to clean these up. If I clean this to this, hey, that was easy. And then just delete this little line, because remember, it's just going to be white paint. Let's see how this intersected. Yeah, this one here, we can just delete this piece, put a little 7.2 gap right there, and trim this out from here to here, here to here, and come down to this one. Again, delete this line, and then just 7.5 to trim this to this. And do the same thing on the other side. It may not have lined up exactly the same, so we'll take a look. And it didn't. That one's actually fine just the way it is. Let's take a look up here. Center line. What we'll do is just take out this line. 7.2 to make a gap. 7.5. Trim it out. And that's okay. Let's just check the bottom. That was good. Lastly, we've got a 12-inch mark, 48 feet up this line. So we're just going to zoom in to this bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to take our smart line, and I can find middle mouse button there, hit O, go down 1 foot. That'll find this point. Hit O again. We're going to go up 48 feet, left click. Now if I just hold down my shift key and my left mouse button, I can get up here. I have to keep letting it go. There it is. So we're going to go out 0.5, half a foot, down :3, excuse me, up :3, and then over 1 foot, :3, and back to the center point. That's a hash mark that's at the 48 foot mark. Now it may have to go down just a little bit, because what I want to do is check with this line and see how the bottom of that arc lines up with the bottom of this hash mark, which it should, because they're both at 48 feet. So we can collect this one, even if I have a little piece of the other one in there, and go to our mirror tool on a vertical axis. Just find the center point. You can actually see this. See how I'm moving my mouse back and forth, and it's finding that center axis point and just placing it there. Now we're going to select it again. We've already got the other side is selected. Now we're going to do another mirror on a horizontal axis. Right to there. So now we have it up here on the top. We'll just go in and trim these out. This was already, I thought that was 2 lines. Guess not. So I got to do a 7.2 partial delete right there, and then a 7.5. If we told the painter he had to match this exactly, he'd probably have a fit. But anyway, anywho, we're going to go and put a gap right there and trim that out with our 7.5. So we're doing a lot of tricks here that really are going to make this appear like we worked harder than we actually did. That one should trim out. I thought it would. Guess it's got an extra line here. Right there. There we go. Zoom out a little bit. We'll pan to the other side, right there. Trimmed out, just take that out, there. Now let me see, I'm going to look at my drawing over. We've got some circles we need to put on the corners to indicate corner flags on a 4-foot high post. So we're going to show those as like a 6-inch diameter circle. So just up here, right on the corner itself, what we can do is just draw a temporary diagonal line from this point to this point, and we're going to go to our circle tool, E1, place circle. Method is center point. Find this center point. We're going to go out here, :3, and then delete that. We won't trim this out. We're just going to put that circle right there. We could actually select it. I don't know whether you can see this, but I'm just going to select that little corner circle. You can see it's selected. And I can come back up here to my mirror tool, vertical axis, one there. While it's still selected, hold down the control key and you can select the other one, and then we'll mirror these on a horizontal axis. And there's our center point. So if everything worked and I'm doing this right, you should see that these are right on the corners. Lastly, we've got some at the center line, 3 feet out. We've got some flags for the center, what do they call them? Center flag, both sides. And this one we can just take our circle, find our center point, middle mouse button, hit O, come out 3 feet, left click, and we're just going to put in :3 for a radius. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. I won't even bother to. So we're middle mouse button on the center point, O, come out 3 feet, 3. Left mouse button, key in :3, and there's our flag. And my gosh, I think that's pretty much it. Now let's go to our 11 by 17 view. Here's our sheet. You notice it has all of the information that we just put on here. So now it's time for us to start dimensioning this. Let's go to our dimension tool, F1. You can see it still has the mechanical here. Let's key on that, and you can see the mechanicals right here. I'm going to make a copy of that one, and we're going to call it civil V1. And let's look at our labels. We want it to show master units. This will be in feet. And we'll just put a foot mark here. Actually, let's say master unit label, subunit label. Not sure if there are any inches in there, but it does show it on our drawing. So we'll show our subunits in inches and use the inch mark. Accuracy. This is a civil drawing, so we're not going to show fractions. We'll just show it to 1 decimal place. Secondary units. Yes, we want to show those as master units with a label. It's going to be in, well, let's just imagine for a minute that we need to send this to a European company to have it sewn into some graphics. Let's do a subunits in meters to 2 decimal places. And what this is going to do, you can see down here on the bottom, it says 4 inches is 0.01 meters. And we do want it to say, we'll give it a small m. When I click out of that, you can see now it's 0.01 m for meters. Our text, 0.07 is good. Symbology is all red, same as before. The geometry, it looks good. Units, actually text, we want it to always be aligned with the dimension lines. let's say inline is still good for the way we're going to dimension this. And then just hit your save button. Let's give this a try now. Once we're in dimensioning, we're going to go and change to our Civil version 1. I'm just going to grab this outside line and get a change. I guess that's okay. Now we can see it's 300 feet 6 inches because I grabbed the outside line. So we want to grab that inside line this time. And we're going to use the second tool, which is dimension linear, or linear dimensioning, so it dimensions between points. That one I want to grab this inside corner, in other words right there. And we're going to go to this inside corner. You can kind of use your wheel to zoom in and out. Pull this up near the top about, we can go up there. We'll say 1.2 inches just to be accurate. Now we see we've got 300 feet equals 91.44 meters. Again, we're making ourselves look a lot smarter than maybe we are, but that's nothing wrong with that. We'll do the same thing down here. Inside corner. I'm not zooming in very close, so hopefully I get that one. And we'll bring it out 1.2, 180 feet, 54.86 meters. We can start dimensioning some of this stuff from the center. We know that the dimension from this point to this point is 12 feet or 3.66 meters. Let's bring that out 0.5 inches. We know that from that point to this inside point is 15 feet. We'll bring it inside, let's say, 0.75. Actually, 0.5. And I don't have to stop. We'll just go down here and go right to this one, which is also another 15 feet. And then just right click. We know that these are supposed to be 3 feet long. Now here's a situation where I've got these dimensions. If I bring it down 0.5, kind of overlapping the line. I'd rather have it on the outside. The tool we use is 7.1, modify element. If I left click on the arrows, I can move the arrows up and down, but if I left click on the text, I can actually take the text and move it outside the dimension area. So it just looks better. Now let's move on the upper portion, because there's no need in duplicating these. We already know they're symmetrical. We're going to take our F1 tool for element dimension, and if I just left click on this inner line, you'll notice it gives me a 48-foot radius, and I can just click maybe outside here. If I drop this down, we can say show the center mark on that. So if I try it again now from this point, you'll notice it puts a little red mark down here that shows where that radius is being taken from. And I probably prefer that, so we'll just left click on that 48 foot and then I can just delete this one. But you see now I've got this red X that indicates where the center point is for that radius. Let's go up here. We've got another dimension to this point on the inside. So we're going to use our F2, dimension linear. We're going to go inside the point, back to inside point, which is also 48 feet. Bring it down 0.5. Yeah, that's good. Just trying to be a little consistent here. We've got a dimension from this point to this point, 15 feet for that line. We got a dimension from this point to this point, which is 15 feet. And I'm just kind of eyeballing the distance on those. We're going to put some text on here to indicate the 25-yard line and so we're going to use our .07 text in red, and we're going to say 25-yard line, and I want to set the angle on this at 90 degrees, so it's going to make the text vertical. We can place that right here and also right here. You can just copy another piece of it, and then the center line, I guess if we were in Canada we'd say C-E-N-T-R-E, but let's see, some of these are notes. Yeah. We'll identify the striking, S-T-R-I-K-I-N-G, circle right here. Oh, we missed a penalty spot, 5 yards out from the goal. Doesn't give us a size. We'll make it 6 inches. So we need to go back to our primary model. We'll come down here on the bottom where our goal is, get a circle, you can find this center point, hit our middle mouse button, hit O. We're going to come out a distance of 5 yards or 15 feet, key in :3. We'll just select that circle, do a fit view, and I'm going to mirror that on a horizontal axis to this point. So we've got a striking circle on both ends. We go back to our 11:17 view. There's our striking circle, or penalty spot's what they call it. Put some more text in here. This should be red. There we go. Penalty spot. We'll just center that right over that. Just type in goal, both ends. Yeah, we don't need it. They're going to know it's a goal on both ends. Okay. We got these spots on the side that are 3 feet out. So we're going to take our dimension element tool from here to the center point. Whoops, from the outside. And again, use their modify tool 7.1 to bring the text to the outside if it's in the way. We have a dimension linear from this inside corner to this corner. Actually, I think I already dimensioned that up here. I did, so we don't need that one. We're going to type in the word sideline. This one will change back to 0 for the angle. Put it on both sides. And 5-yard line right here and right here. Now the rest of this will be notes. So for a note, we're going to use the second tool in. If you drop down this Terminator, you can see the leader type could be a curve. I can change this to a curve. Inline leaders, good. And what is that blue? Yes to all. Okay. Apparently it said I didn't save it. So anyway, back to the note tool. We're going to type in corner flag on 4-inch high post. That's going to be right there. Now what you can see is my line spacing for multiple line text is a little tight. So we can go to our magnifying glass on civil and go to text. Somewhere Where I got geometry for line spacing must be under text. Oh, I'm in the wrong. I gotta be in the text tool, sorry. Go to the text tool, 0.07. The magnifying glass, there we go. 0.07, spacing. Let's say 0.07. And hit save, close it out. Let's delete this one and the arrow. Try it one more time, see if that helps. Again, it was corner flag on 4-inch high post. Left click on the circle and a little more space there. Five yards. That we only need it on one note. Then down here we have center flag both sides. Left click, just bring the arrow out, put it in the direction. Go down here, there's a little note on this one that says 12 inch mark. My text here says 12-foot mark, but it's out 16 yards, so it must mean a 12-inch mark. And it says 4 required. And we're going to just point right there and just bring it in this direction. Let's finish up by coming over and filling out our title block. We'll just go to our edit text tool. This is going to be civil exercise. We'll say V1 field hockey layout, and change the date to 9/23. Scale on this is 1 inch equals 30 feet. Fit view looks good. Do a Control P. Now you can see it's set up for an ANSI B size sheet because it automatically picked up this sheet here. We're going to add our pen table. Turns all black and white. We can do a print view. Now at this point we're ready to print. There's one other thing I'd like you to do. Let's try this. Go to File, Edit Printer Driver Configuration. See if this is still the way it was. And if we go to weight maps, you'll see here that the weight map is a little thick. And what I like to do is change this. So if you double click on it, we're going to start with 0.7 millimeters and do increments of 0.7 all the way up. So the next one's going to be 0.14, 0.21, 0.28. See, you thought those multiplication tables would never help you. Let me see, 0.35. And let's do one more, 0.42. And do a File, Save As. And we're going to put this in our utility directory. So I need to wait for my computer to catch up to me here. Oops, there we go. We're going to go to My Documents, CT120CJ, Utilities, and this one is just going to be called PDF CJ, and hit Save. Now close it out. And what you want to do now is go to File, select Bentley Driver, and you're going to go to your utility directory. The reason we're doing this is it really makes it a lot nicer for the printing output. Your lines are a lot thinner and more crisp. They're not as bulky as the standard that they come out with here. And again, my computer is kind of hashing out. There we go. My documents, CT120, utilities, there's plot PDF CJ, and hit open. When I look at this now, you can actually see that the lines are much thinner. Close this out, and I guess I still needed to put the 75 foot marks. Well, you can figure that out as we do it. I'll try to get it done in class. And just do the print button. We're going to send this to the homework directory. There we go. My documents. Homework. This one's going to be called assignment. Actually, I'll just say assign 3, and then I'll change it to 4. Assignment 4, C. Junkins. Make sure you put your name on it. Hit save. I'm going to close this out. I'll just minimize MicroStation. Minimize that. We'll go take a look at our Adobe Reader file. Pull that drawing up, see what we got. Actually, it's right there anyway. Oh, that's the other one. Now it's important that you go look at your drawing before you actually drop it in the first class folder. That's the old drawing. Now let's open up our drawing, which should look much nicer than this one. Let's see, homework, assignment 4, open. Sesame, please. And what I'm going to do is go in and take a look at this. You can see my lines actually should be a lot crisper. Still a little blocky on the PDF, so I may have to work on that a little bit. But still, pretty decent looking drawing, I think. So everything looks okay. Again, still add those dimensions in there. You want to close it out and then drag and drop it into your first class, and I'll have a folder on first class for this assignment. So that's it. I'll assign some reading, probably going to chapter 4 for next week, and I'll put a video up to cover that hopefully before the weekend. All right, thank you.